So something insane is happening right now, completely unprecedented, well, you know, for the most part, but we are experiencing a pandemic and it has completely turned our realities upside down. So in this video, I'm gonna give you 5 helpful tips to help you not freak out during quarantine. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. Creators Therapy is hosted by me, DJ. I'm an associate therapist in Southern California and a creative. Living life in these two worlds has taught me one thing, that our stories hold our cure. And I think it's important that you, the creative, ought to be able to have some place where you can get some self-care and a little bit of encouragement every once in a while. So welcome, I hope you enjoyed. If you like this video, then please click subscribe and the like button. Helps me out a ton. This is obviously a wild time to be alive. I mean, we are experiencing something that will most likely be in the history books and something that we're gonna tell our kids and our grandkids about. We're living in the midst of a pandemic and it's completely shifted how we live our day to day. So today I thought I'd give you 5 tips that I think are gonna really help you get through this season of life. Tip number 1, routine. Normalcy is completely straight out the window. There's a window back over here, that's why But one thing that we can do to preserve what little normalcy we have left, if any, is having a routine. You know routine. You're very familiar with routine. You have a Monday routine, a Tuesday routine, and so on. You've got a morning, an afternoon, and an evening routine. Heck, you've even got a weekend routine. And whenever you're working from home, it can be really tempting for your brain to turn on weekend routine mode. Picture this, you're sitting at home, you're excited, you're working remotely. This is everything you hoped it would be. This is all the things that all those bloggers and social media influencers talked about. This should be the dream. But instead you watch 3 hours of Netflix. The morning is disappeared and you've barely gotten any work done. Well, that's called the weekend routine, friends. You know, that special time whenever all we're expected to do for the next 2 days is wear pajamas, sleep in, and eat whatever we see in front of us. Keeping a routine is gonna be really important in this season of time. If you've got kids, they're probably learning online. You're probably working remotely, everyone is stuck indoors. It can be really difficult to kind of get a sense of structure. Structure is going to be really important in this time. So how do you set up structure and how do you set up routine? Well, it's quite easy. Wake up the same time that you would normally wake up, go through your whole morning routine, shower, get ready for work like you normally would, and then set up a workspace. Have your workspace. You're going to set up your workspace and you're going to have yourself the same typical, as much as you can, type of day that you would normally typically have. Have a lunch break, have an afternoon caffeine pick-me-up. Whatever you can do to maintain a sense of normal work day from home, then do that. Having that routine is going to be really helpful whenever you're trying to get work done or you're trying to be productive. As much as you can, set up a routine, set up structure, and keep your sense of normalcy as much as you can throughout your day. It's gonna go a long way to helping you stay productive, feeling productive, just getting everybody's bearings with this whole situation. Tip number 2, cook. First of all, cooking is just a really good life skill to have. Dust off the old rice cooker or the old instant cooker or the air fryer and get to cooking. It's really helpful because number 1, if you've got kids, you can start teaching your kids how to cook. You yourself can learn how to cook, but also it's gonna be really helpful for your budget. Buying boxed meals like frozen pizzas and ready to eat, and all you gotta do is throw it in the oven for a few minutes and, you know, ding, it's ready. Those things can get really costly. They're a little bit more expensive, you'll find, than just buying ingredients. And there's a reason for that. They're already prepared meals. They've already taken the time to prepare the meal for you. You don't have to take that time. Well, now you got a lot of time on your hands probably. So it's a good time to learn how to cook, execute those cooking skills, or even teach your kids how to cook. Like I said, this is a really good life skill to have. And overall, it's going to help your budget in the long run. On the other side of that, cooking is going to be much healthier for you. If you're stuck indoors a lot or you have to stay indoors, cooking at home is going to go a long way to not only eat more healthy, but it's also going to go a long way to fueling your body rather than filling your body. Even though the barbecue potato chips taste way better, they don't do as much for us health-wise. They don't have a ton of nutritional value. So learn how to cook or start cooking again. I was super surprised myself at how much I ate out or how much I ordered in, but cook, just cook. It's gonna go a long way to helping your overall health. And your kids, spouses will thank you. Tip number 3, avoid isolation. There's an important distinction that I think we need to make here. There is a difference between socially isolating yourself and socially distancing yourself. Social distancing is not just the thing that we do to try to ignore the Tinder date that won't leave us alone. It's actually a really helpful way to slow down the progress of COVID-19 or to stop it altogether. Socially isolating yourself is a whole different matter. Whenever we isolate ourselves, we're locking ourselves inside our room, we're locking ourselves inside our homes. We only have ourselves to bounce ideas off of. And whenever you watch all of your favorite pandemic and quarantine themed movies and it's just you sitting around watching all that and taking all that in, it can really do some funny things to the mind. Sitting by yourself, being by yourself for an extended period of time, isolating yourself for an extended period of time can be really detrimental to your overall mental health. Important thing here is just because we have to be under quarantine or just because you're under maybe a safer at home situation, if your state is doing that, or if you're in complete lockdown, just because you're socially distancing yourself does not mean that you have to socially isolate yourself. Thanks to millennials, we've got a ton of social media platforms. We have things like Skype and Zoom and FaceTime and Google Hangouts, all great ways to have face-to-face interactions with the people that we care about and love the most. Take advantage of those things. Call up friends, talk to them on social media, maybe hang out with them on any of the video share platforms that I just mentioned. All of these things are gonna go a really long way, especially if you live on your own. It's going to be really important that you interact with people. We are social creatures. We wanna be social. We wanna hang out. Don't deprive yourself of that. Be sure to check in with people, have people that are checking in on you. Continue to maintain a good support system, especially if you live alone. And even if you don't live alone, it can be really easy to be in our own world. My wife and I tend to have our own things going on. We can be sitting on our phones, or she can be reading while I can be playing a video game or something like that can be going on. Be sure to have that time where you check in with one another, where you're talking with one another, where you're conversing. Have that time set aside. That is gonna go a really, really long way to helping you not freak out in the middle of this pandemic. Tip number 4, get a little fitness in. That's right, work that body. Shake all of the bits about you, all right? So really, really important. Any sort of exercise or physical activity actually does wonders for your overall mood and your overall health. Our bodies are meant to be active. We have these muscles. They are meant to be moving. We are not supposed to just be sitting still for long periods of time. Get your body moving. I'll be honest though, the closest thing I've done to a crunch the last couple of days is bend over to the bottom shelf of my fridge and grab the ranch. Fitness helps our mood. It's scientifically proven. Fitness gets those endorphins going and gets our overall mood and our overall attitude and just our overall energy level up. So wherever you can, get some fitness in. There are a ton of channels on YouTube that actually have helpful tips for how to work out at home. You can go a lot further than just the traditional push-up and crunch situation. I think I saw a video the other day of how to use a pot to help do offsetting push-ups, which was really helpful. So there are so many useful resources, especially here on YouTube, that help you to get more active. So get some fitness in. The other side of getting that exercise in is that it actually helps you get some angst out. We are living in a very stressful time right now. It can feel very unnerving. It's very unknown. All of these things combined together. We have a lot of unknown factors. We have a lot of things that kind of keep us glued to our devices or keep us glued to the TV and see what kind of new news we have. All of this stuff is very stressful. All of this stuff is very frightening. Exercise actually helps to get some of that anxious and angsty energy out of your body. Whenever you worked it out, whenever you get it out of your body, it's out, it's left your body. Stress and anxiety are actually not good for you. They're not good for you, they're not good for your body, they're not good for your mind. So exercise really, really helps, especially whenever you're feeling stressed, whenever you're feeling angsty. It improves your mood, it improves your energy, and it helps get a lot of that stressful, angsty energy out of your body because you're getting it worked out. You're working it all out. Just work out. My 5th and final tip for you is simply go outside. There's something to be said about getting a breath of fresh air, and there's also something to be said about getting a little bit of sun. Now, sunny California has not been so sunny the last couple of weeks. We've actually had a ton of rain, but you can bet that whenever the sun is out, we are out as well. Whenever you're limited to staying at home, it can be really easy or really tempting to stay inside as well. While I love chilling on the couch as much as the next person, it's not always the best thing to do. Much like exercise and activity, getting outside and getting some fresh air and getting some sun is gonna be really, really helpful. It improves your mood, helps you sleep better, promotes bone growth, and lowers your blood pressure. Now, of course, there's the old rule that if you're gonna be out in the sun for longer than 15 minutes, it's usually a good idea to use some sunscreen. But while you're outside and while you've got the sun beaming down on you, be sure to breathe in all that goodness. So those are my 5 helpful tips, and I hope they were helpful for you. I've definitely been applying those the last couple of days, and they've certainly been helpful for me. We got out and got some sun today just before it started raining again. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's definitely raining again. Hopefully you'll take these and apply them to your new reality as we kind of live and learn in this new season. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know if you have any other helpful tips for the rest of us out there. Be sure to write those down in the comments down below. And if you like this video, be sure to subscribe because I'm gonna have a lot more videos like this one here in the coming days. So thank you so much for checking out Creators Therapy. My name is DJ, and we'll see you next time.